Jordan Groden, Angel Miller, Meyer, Phil Rogers Josephs, CB Rossingle, Rocco 1024, Joshua Ty. Good evening. Welcome on in, Rebecca, Realtor Steve, Moneybags, Joe Matt. Good evening, nice to see all of you. I was doing my best to get on here closer to 8. I had a little time with myself, felt it necessary to have a good cry, and so I'm a little later than I expected. But isn't it interesting how as men we're taught to not cry about it? As if that's a healthy thing to have taught us, that we should be a man about it, not cry about it, when that is leading us further and further away from being in tune with the dynamicism of who we are. Budapest in the house. Victor Doof. So good to see you. Sleep beautifully, my friend, tonight. Over enthusiastic. Nice to see you. Got a little emotional after my during the beginning of my coaching call with my coach, and then after. And it felt so good to just let it out. Ooh, Greg, Scott. God, I haven't worn pantyhose since I was a kid, but I never wore pantyhose on my head. I mean, on my legs. I actually have a picture of me as a kid where I put my mom's pantyhose on my head. So I'm curious, Greg, where do you wear your pantyhose? Because you're a human being and you can do whatever you please. But it's nice to know that, like, I'm not the only person that put pantyhose over my head. Paso, Texas in the house. Cortez, so good to see you. Just posted my new song on TikTok, so pumped. Yes! What a way to have confidence in yourself, belief in yourself. Are you fulfilled this far in your life? I am overly fulfilled. I am more than fulfilled every day. I'm in this great space where I've been really focusing on my health, my wealth, my ability, my potentiality, and really it's turning into more actuality. And we are the only creatures on this planet that can take potentiality and create something from it, create actuality, like make something from it. So I appreciate that question. I am beyond fulfilled, and it's because I continue to show up for myself, practice being present, practice interrupting the old chatter, all the limited beliefs that are stored in our subconscious that most people on the planet are run by. I've paid attention to all those limiting beliefs because I've realized through my coach and working with my coach that we are limitless. So whenever we feel stuck or whenever we procrastinate or wherever, it's all based in fear. And the more we entertain that fear, the bigger it grows. Chad Williams, thank you for the kind words. John Briggs, the question is, are you fulfilled by life so far? And if you're not, or any of you aren't, you have that opportunity to change it. You have the ability as a human being, if you don't feel fulfilled, you have every potential to focus more of your attention on the fulfillment that you desire in life. And then if you request it, it shall come. You just have to be open and pay attention to all that, all the opportunities that come into place for you to elevate. But if you don't pay attention to the opportunities and you give too much of the attention over to the fear, the opportunities are just going to come and go. The biggest fear are tests. No, not so much. Maybe for you the biggest fear, but unwritten 25. If you have to take a test soon to interview for this job, I would do your best not to put it out into the universe that tests are fearful. That you should fear tests because it's going to make the test even more difficult to achieve the goal, the number or the letter grade that they give you that you seek. The $64,000 question. I have pretty doe eyes. Oh, look at that, masculine daddy. I appreciate that because as a child, my mom always said that I had beautiful brown cow eyes, and I took that personally. But now I don't take it personally. She thought as a child when she was raised on a farm that cow eyes are beautiful. They're big. They're just gorgeous to stare into. So it was actually a compliment. I just I distorted that thought and that story, and I told myself something different than she perceived. Isn't that interesting how we as humans soak in other people's beliefs and then they begin to affect us? Yet, what if I told you that all you must do is, when you learn that you believe in something limited, all you must do is say, is that my belief? Did I come up with that? Because you have to remember that you weren't born with any beliefs. Any beliefs that you currently believe, whether they're fruitful, favorable, or limiting you, or were most likely received from society, your parents, a sibling, a teacher. And if they're not helping you grow, if they're in your way from having more fun on this planet, change them. You have the ability to change them. Don't got no Twitter. A lot of Martin, thanks for the kind words. The most handsome man in the world, look at that. And I just got finished crying about 20 minutes ago. I am unafraid to admit that I cry, that I actually love to cry, because I used to shame crying because as a child I was a crybaby. I cried a lot. And then I couldn't cry for a long time. There was an emotional pain attached to crying. And one of the best things that's happened to me over the last couple of years is I've been able to let it out, just let it flow. Because as I said when we first started this live, that most men are raised to believe to not cry about it, be a man about it. And what does that do? That hurts you. That disconnects you with who you are, the essence, the beauty, the experience on this planet. And then a lot of men suffer because they're not in tune with who they are. There's a friendly face I really need to see right now that I'm struggling inside. Thanks for this, Anthony. Absolutely, Jim. So good to see you, Mr. Flodden. I'm super grateful you're here. Like, I can see you running through the redwood forest eating a pine cone. Thanks for bringing some joy to the group. Thanks for bringing some joy to the tribe. Doe, a deer, a female deer. Trey, tropical and sun. Mimo and Pipo, thanks for the kind words. Really appreciate that. It's good to cry. I do it all the time. Beautiful. It's an incredible release if you allow it to be an experience. Most people shame it. They judge it. They think, oh, I'm crying. Like they feel bad about it. But we need not forget that we're a human being having an experience on this planet, and we should be in tune with our emotions. If you're like me, you used to shove them down. Every time you experienced an emotion, you shamed it. You felt bad about it. You felt guilty about it. And then you shove it back down inside of you, and it's the last place that emotion wants to be. What kind of shoes am I wearing right now? Are you a foot person? Oh. I ain't wearing no shoes. I got my socks on. I live in the Northeast. I live in upstate, well, not the Northeast, but I live in upstate New York, and it's wet and it's kind of snowy out right now. So the shoes, when I walk my dog, I don't want to trail all this dirt in my house. Hola, Gringuito. Navidad. So good to see you. Cortez, thanks for the kind words. Really appreciate that. I think the more that we learn to appreciate who we are, we have a vibe that resonates with people that they enjoy. Now, do realize that, like, some people see my vibe as, like, arrogance. But it's, to be honest, it's confidence. It's just like, I've learned to love myself. It feels really good. I used to dislike myself because I was a drug addict, severely depressed, had body image issues for the majority of my life. I wasn't that bright growing up. I was raised in a moderate family with lots of disempowering beliefs. And so I've like grown so much because I've chosen to grow. I've chosen to listen or disbelieve all of what society tries to teach us, that we're not good enough. I'm gay. Most of society has tried to teach the gay community, the LGBTQ plus community, that we're not good enough. And I'm I'm in a great space now that I'm going to change everything. I'm creating communities within our community that will help actually people uplift one another. Like, no more of this shaming one another. Yes, you've experienced shame, you've been hurt, but doesn't mean you find it necessary to hurt other people and shame them. But the longer we hold the shame, the more we'll be reminded that we feel the shame, that we believe that we're shameful. So we gotta move beyond that noise, that belief that, again, was taught by someone else when we were a child, by society, our parents, a teacher, bullies. Not everyone gets a release from crying. Yes, of course, because they don't allow themselves. And I appreciate you writing that in, Daddy is mirror. Because not everyone gets a release from crying, but if you can surrender to it and appreciate it for what it's trying to do, what it's trying to provide you, it's an incredible release. Mind you, as I mentioned before, most humans shame the emotions that they're experiencing. But emotions are there to make life more interesting. If we didn't have emotions, it wouldn't be so fun. I cry even when I'm angry and frustrated. It really helps to release emotions. Beautiful. Just do your best to not judge when you're crying. The judgment reintroduces that emotion to go right back down inside. So we want to make sure that we're not judging really anything. Yourself, another person, a circumstance. Don't be suspicious. So good to see you. At what age do you start having silver hair? Blaine, well, first off, I thank you for the compliment because I like to think of my hair as a silver fox. I'm not old and gray. Old and gray is a state of mind. Silver fox makes me feel more confident and believe in who I am. So I actually started receiving the beautiful silver locks in my early 20s. It was probably from stress, a lot of drug abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, all of it. But it's happened, and I've learned to appreciate it. Just like I've learned to appreciate any of the fat around my waist, or the Catalino thunder thighs that I've always had. Because the more I appreciate it, the less thunderish my thighs appear to be. The more I appreciate my waist just the way that it was, just the way that it is, the smaller it's gotten. Isn't that interesting? How if we just start to develop a kinder, gentler, more thoughtful approach to who we are and have an appreciation for who we are, you feel better. It almost baffles me how that took me a long time to realize. I shamed myself and beat myself up for a long time. Why? Because I learned that belief from other people that it wasn't good enough. So the more you can realize that wow, I just attained beliefs from someone else. It's not my belief. I just decided to hold on to it and cradle it like a baby for a long time. Maybe there's a great opportunity for you to let it go. Thanks, Just Sean. I have lost some weight and I feel better in my skin because I'm taking better care of myself than ever before. And I now have a whole new closet because my partner's clothes fit me. Not all of them, but a lot of his shirts. So my closet just doubled and I'm thrilled because this is his. You feel like a Gemini. I don't know what it's like to be in a Capricorn or a Taurus or Pisces. I am a Gemini. But I don't know what it's like to feel like anything else. So I guess I feel like a Gemini. Thank you for the compliment, Lauda Martin. I had been gay for years. I would like to imagine that you are out now, and that's a beautiful thing. So congratulations, Cortez. Yeah, we shouldn't hide anything about ourselves. Mass Daddy, I am a married man. I start my 15th year with my partner, a successful 15 years of marriage, starting in May. It's very positive, and that's my struggle right now is with depression, but I manage it. Remember, Cortez, depression is this idea, Jim Carrey said this, and it really resonated with me. Depression, because I was depressed, so I don't know what your experience is like, but I know what it's like to be in a depressive state for quite some time. That it's all that our energy, like our system, our body, our spirit is asking of us is to provide ourselves a deep rest. A deep rest from the character we're trying to play. If we're trying to play someone that we're different, to find it necessary to be validated or need someone else's approval or to be someone else different than we truthfully are to be liked, we're going to find ourselves eventually in a depression. Now, need not, I would like to remind you that it's from this dark space, this deep rest that that your body's requesting, that your life is going to change forever better. We get so lost in the noise and the depression and the darkness that like we fail to realize that like you got to fall and trip and skin your knee to be like, I don't want to stay down there. I've learned through my hardest of hard, the darkest of days. That's how I grew. That's how we grow. We learn from the past and we like, how can we better the situation? How can we better ourselves? And we grow. Skippy Top, thanks for the kind words. Pride moment. I am proud, but unfortunately, the word pride, what hangs out right behind those little sneaky creatures, what the emotions that hang out right behind pride are shame and guilt. Two things, I don't want to say qualities in a person, but characteristics about a person that most people in the LGBTQ plus community, mind you, I'm gay if you're just joining us now, we embody because we don't feel we're good enough. We don't feel we're worthy because society has depends on when you were born, but has made us believe through bullying, through religion, through all these outside noises that we're not good enough. So my goal in helping the community, the GBTQ plus community, because I don't typically work with women, although I can really help, I believe, anyone that's willing to be helped. Raise that vibration from pride to appreciation. I'm not even asking you to love yourself, but if you can learn to appreciate the good, the bad, the in between, the hard, the bad, the hard, the soft, the whatever it may be, whatever days you're experiencing, learn to appreciate them. Just like I said before, the more I appreciated my waistline when I felt I was overweight, it just kind of slimmed down over time. I had thunder thighs my whole entire life because I was a husky kid growing up. And the more I appreciated them and extracted that husky, my thighs just slimmed down. It's like the more I learned to appreciate just the way I was, my life got better. My whole For You page is filled with Lyle the crocodile. Ooh, cool. Ismer. Oh, cool. I appreciate the clarification. Ismer equals Ismer. As a gay man, I have a really hard time creating gay friendships. JJTS, I appreciate the expression of what you're experiencing right now. Because I think a lot of people have a hard time creating great gay friendships. We must remember, if we don't appreciate ourselves, we're going to attract other people in the community that don't appreciate us as well. They're going to remind us that we don't appreciate ourselves. That's why there's so much hurt in the community, because the people that have been hurt find it necessary to hurt other people. But the more you can begin to appreciate people, yourself, you'll attract other people that remind you of that beauty. So a fantastic opportunity. If you're interested, I'm just going to mention it. I just started a community, a membership called Yes King. It's all about overcoming procrastination, all about working to overcome your adversities, all the while being a part of GBTQ plus men within the community, or GBTQ plus men that actually help pick you up, that actually help you thrive. You learn how to appreciate yourself, celebrate yourself. They help you, they celebrate you as well. And we lift each other up. So if you're interested, click the link in my bio. There's also a free newsletter in there for you, any of you that want the 4-step guide on how to overcome adversities and to knock procrastination out of the park. Because procrastination is pretty common. And what's the basis of procrastination? Fear. So if we extracted fear out of the equation, maybe we wouldn't procrastinate. So when you join a group of men, and mind you, it just launched and there's only a couple guys in there right now. There were some more, they decided it wasn't for them. Great. I'm going to organically grow it over time. But it's a great opportunity for you to meet other people, to develop gay friendships. And the more you raise yourself up, the more you attract people that respect you just like that. I've been crying quite a bit because I really messed up yesterday. Jim, your so-called mess up was there to teach you something. What can you learn from it? And it's okay to let out those cries. Remember, we all make mistakes. Some of them, if we label them as a really bad mistake, then we're going to feel the weight of it. But everybody makes mistakes. Everybody. Even Jesus, Buddha, all the greats, all the so-called saints. Yes, it says don't. Mass Daddy, are you saying show us your partner? Because he's not here. He's in Florida with his family. Plus, he doesn't really come on my lives. But if you go to my Instagram, you can flick through there and you'll see some pictures of us. He's half Puerto Rican and half Sicilian, and he's delicious. Just shows that what a wise man you are. Cortez, yeah, it's taken me a while to be wise, but it's like when you learn how to take life less seriously and just have fun with it, it gets real good. Mind you, I wasn't the brightest. I was a severe drug addict. I picked myself up, and life changed dramatically as soon as I started asking for help. One of the first places I asked for help was a friend that was into spirituality, and he guided me towards listening to this tape before I went to bed. And then the next step I had to overcome was I went to AA because I was smoking a lot of marijuana and drinking a lot of booze. And that support was dynamic, and that costed me $1 to $2 a day in throwing in the tip jar. So that was a $30 a month investment. You join my Yes King, it's $40 a month, but if you join during the month of March and you pay in full for the whole year, it's $240. That's $20 a month to change your life and get the support that you deserve. We have monthly themes. We have weekly questions that you'll be asked to think differently, to think beyond the box, the conditioning of your life. Can't get your Instagram link to work. Hey, I appreciate that, and I think I know why. Maybe I didn't change. Oh, I didn't change it on TikTok. I changed my name to Yes King. So, okay, thank you for that, IB Flex. I'm going to finish this live in 10 minutes, and then I'll change it. I just changed my name from Anthony Catalino to Yes King recently, and I thought I changed it everywhere, but I didn't change it in TikTok. So I appreciate you bringing that to my attention. Sherry, good evening, Anthony. When you regenerate negative things from the past, you keep negativity going. Yep, when you regenerate negative things from the past, yeah. The more you give your attention to anything, good, bad, you're just going to keep on attracting more of the same. So if you don't feel you're good enough in this moment and things keep on not really working out for you, you have to look deep and realize that there's a belief within you that you don't believe you're good enough on achieving, on growing, on creating friendships. It's going to literally transpire to all areas of your life. But I didn't believe I was worthy. And now I have a thriving business. I work from home. I work remote. I love what I do. I have great clients. I keep on creating systems that are going to help me generate different avenues of income. All these things that I've learned over the years that I now implement. And I wasn't the brightest growing up. I was a severe drug addict. Just learn how to take life less serious and then you have more fun. Me and my old teacher came out at the same time pretty much, and now he's like a mentor to me. Beautiful, Soda Luke. I love it. We all need someone to speak to, a mentor, a coach, a therapist, a counselor, someone you admire. Now, my free days of coaching are done, but I have multiple opportunities for you to work with me. If it's not me, choose somebody. If it's a small amount, remember, people pay attention to what they pay for. So the only free thing I have is a newsletter that I write to you every now and again, and you get a free 4-step guide. Otherwise, if you invest in something, even if it's $20 a month or $10 a month or $40 a month, that's something. Then you're going to work towards it. You're more likely to invest your time towards it. What should I do if someone keeps attacking me for being gay? Ben Walsh, I don't know your situation. I'm not sure if it's school. The first thing I would say is stop giving them attention. Where you put your focus, your attention, your energy flows. So if someone keeps on bothering you, do your best to ignore them. You could also do this, and this might take a little, I wouldn't say skill, but depending on if you're into visualization or not, this is a powerful technique that I learned through my coach, and it's dynamic and it works. Okay? So if you were to close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, just to get in a relaxed space, allow your heart to slow down and your nerves to calm. Picture yourself, and I'm not asking you to necessarily relive the last time that they did that to you, but you can actually relive that moment, relive that time for a moment, and then see it end up differently. So if say it's at school on the campus, and you see them coming over to you and attacking you and saying slurs or saying rude things to you, in your mind, replay the scene, but replay it as if you see them from a distance and they keep walking. You're gonna trick your mind into believing the experience didn't happen, and then most likely, and you may have to do this a few times to really instill it, you're gonna find him attacking you less and less. It's gonna change the energy. But if you give your attention over to some person attacking you, then you might continue to have them attack you. Where focus goes, energy flows, and you're made of energy. Jesus, in the house, do I have kids? Are you planning to have kids? I do not have kids. I have 2 Jack Russell Terriers. I wanted kids for a while, and I think I'm going to stick with dogs. I might adopt at some point, but I might just stick with dogs. Do you guys believe that God is an all-knowing? So that he knows what I'm going to do for the rest of my life? I personally, and I'm not religious, but I personally believe that we are all God. And you are here to create your own life. So if you don't like your current circumstances, your current reality, you can change it. I changed mine. I live my life by the design that I created years ago. And I had to keep on working at it, keep on believing it. Eventually hired a coach 4 years ago now. And now my life is I'm living that reality. Like we are our own creators. We can change anything. It doesn't matter how much money's in your bank account, who raised you, what your background is, what skin color you have. So you are the facilitator. You are the gold. You are already gold. It's just up for you to believe that. So some people do believe that your life is already written, but you can also make choices that will change the trajectory of your life. You came on this planet to learn some things, to grow and evolve, and so grow and evolve. Yes, don't let people bully you. Stand in your own skin. Thank you for saying that, Sherry. Allow the bully to help you stand taller. Because, again, any of the darkness that I've experienced in my life has helped me stand taller. If I was afraid of the dark, I wouldn't allow any light to come in. And we all know that light cancels out dark. The more you step into your light, so-called light, you breathe better, you stand taller, you feel better, you have more confidence, you have more friends, you hang around with people that treat you like sunshine. Hoot Sky, you're so welcome. Super grateful you're here. The name is DD. I like that. I appreciate that. Look at this. This is a great representation of what Yes King looks like, or the kind of people that you should spend time around. I know I'm behind in the comments. I'm doing my best to catch up. Someone in this chat expressed. They developed the courage and the bravery to speak about something that was harming them, something that was hurtful or challenging to them. They were being bullied. How do I stop it? Not only did other people reach out and say, you're better than that, stand up for yourself, don't let them take you down, but then also here, landing E. Keep moving forward, stand up as you can, build yourself up in every way. That's a beautiful thing. That's uplifting other people. If you join Yes King, or if you join a support group or a membership, like join something or surround yourself with people that lift you up. The more courage you develop, the bravery you develop, you'll stop procrastinating on the things that you're terrified to look at because you realize that fear is the basis of it. Join Yes King. You'll overcome procrastination. We all procrastinate. I take that back. I don't procrastinate like I used to. I want to have thunder thighs. Yeah, Sherry, I talked about the bullying. My boyfriend gave me a set of keys to his apartment. What does that mean? You give it the label, whatever you want to label it as. Remember, words have meaning. Experiences have meaning, the meaning that we give it. Fire can mean something devastating if it burned your house down. But it can also be sweet because it cooks your food, keeps you warm. It's really romantic. You see? So, talk to him. Talk to them. Talk to your boyfriend. Hey, you gave me keys. What was your vision on this? Communication is so important. The communication you have with yourself, with your partners, with your family, with your landlord. Yeah. You can't pay rent on time? Communicate with your landlord. Otherwise, you're going to start to create all this dialogue in your head that, like, you're not good enough. I've done that before. The more you allow the chatter in your head to take you down, the more it takes you down. Spain in the house, and no, I don't speak Spanish. No, Sherry, I already talked to that person. They earlier they said that they were being bullied. How can I help? And I gave them some insight. And then you chimed in to support them as well, so thank you. Where did I get my shirt? It's not mine. I don't know. It's my partner's. I don't know if you can see the label. Can you see the label? Can you see the label? What does that look like? Something I can't read it. I'm not taking it off. This isn't a strip session. Jose Antonio, how old do you have to be to join your GBTQ plus coaching session? I don't really have an age on it. But you could also check out my website and see my pricing for my coaching sessions. I would probably say 18 plus for my free newsletter to join Yes King. But one-on-ones, it might be a little older depending on how determined you are to change your life, because there's a price tag on there that's designed to help you change your life. So you have to be really into it. You have to be really committed to change. And a lot of people they're terrified. So check out my website. The link's in the bio. You can go to the area where it says check out some opportunities to join my adventure. There's coaching in there. And then if that looks well to you, the price tag and everything, book a session or book a complimentary discovery session. Oh my God, Jack Russell's my favorite breed of dog. One of them's in here, but she's behind the pillows. You can't really see her. I just want to know where you got your flannel. Hold on. It looks like it's called United by Blue, is where my partner got this flannel. United by Blue. I love that we are all God and we are all capable and responsible for creating our own reality. Absolutely. I'm not saying we're all gods, but we're all made of the same stuff. Literally, if you learn about quantum physics, which I'm not going to dive into because it gets a little twisted in your head. the telephone that you're on, the computer you're on right now, this desk that my computer is on right now, the shirt, our bodies, it's all made of the same stuff. It's just vibrating at a different vibration. It's kind of bananas. Like, life is an illusion. Nothing's real. We give weight over to fear when fear is part of experience just to like prevent us from going down a dark alley and getting hurt. More people need to realize that you create your own reality. Now, keep in mind, a lot of people will think like, well, like I've had some terrible things happen to me. You got to remember, as a child, you were pretty much living unconsciously. We have something what's called a subconscious mind. 95% of your habits, your beliefs, everything you've experienced in life is stored in your subconscious mind. That's your programming. That's who you're living by right now. And if there's some stuff that you learned when you were a child, maybe you had some heavy trauma. I mean, everyone's had trauma, but maybe you had some heavy trauma. Maybe you didn't have like really kind parents. Maybe you had bullies at school. That all, whatever you chose as a human unconsciously, like you didn't realize you did it, has been imprinted into your subconscious mind. That controls you right now. Well, it runs you basically. It's like a computer programming. So if you want to change what your current reality is, you gotta find out. You gotta learn, and this is what I teach, or I help my clients that I work with one-on-one. I help them realize what those beliefs are, what that conditioning is. So then we can uncover those beliefs and we can detach the emotion, then we can feel better in life. I don't want to confuse you, but you have to remember that you can change. Like you're on this planet to learn how to change, to get better, to have more fun. And the more you learn how to have more fun, like this planet's awesome. If you get lost in all the noise and the news and the media, which is designed to keep you living in fear, playing small, not having a lot of money, or if you have a lot of money, you don't like it. Society is trying to control you. Smartphones, they pretty much know almost everything about you, more than you know yourself. They track you, they know what you're spending, so they know what your habits are, they know what your beliefs are, they know what you think. It's kind of crazy. Yes, we're all gods and God is us. I like dogs, cats, and horse. Beautiful. I plan to have a slew of animals. Alpacas, cows, horses, chickens. I plan to have my own hydroponic garden indoors so it grows all year long in upstate New York. America, get out of Europe. United by Blue, yep. Do you like boba? I'm not sure what boba is. Dill Sean, thanks for the kind words. Have the best time. Have a beautiful night. The bloodthirsty Yanks are not welcome in Europe. Greetings from Spain. Junma, so nice to have you here. James Branch in the house. Ladies and gentlemen, talk about transformation in a beautiful human. He reached out to me. He wanted to make some changes in his life, and he overcame the fears that were holding him back from more freedom. And he's an older gentleman. A lot of people think you can't teach an older dog new tricks. He's not old, but he's not 20. He's beautiful and heartful just the way that he is. And he's made some big changes. He's learned how to get out of his own way, and he's going to continue to invest in himself. Because the more you can get out of your own way, life gets more fun. Goodness gracious. I haven't had to block someone in a while. Self-reflection, insight, that should help insight change. Absolutely. If that's what you believe, Cobb, 15 lesser gods seems more appropriate. Hey, if that's what you believe, beautiful. Remember, like, I think why the world's kind of like turned upside down and it's like in this like catastrophic like state of like living is because most people want to have power over other people with their beliefs. If you're religious and you love Jesus, beautiful. I happen to think that Jesus wasn't even real and it was just a story. That's my belief, though. So I can share my belief with other people, and if you don't like it, that's awesome. But like, if you believe in Jesus and you try to slam it down other people's throats and like Jesus is the way and Jesus is the way, that's like, we need to remember to like stay in our own lanes. So I do think if you think it's beautiful that lesser gods seems more appropriate, beautiful. In my book, in my world, that I think puts me lower than anyone else. That like puts me like, that makes me feel like I'm less than. And I'm divinely, perfectly imperfect, just the way that I am. How old am I? I'm 41 years old. I turned 42 in June. I need motivation thoughts like dreams, how to blooming. I need motivation thoughts, just like dreams, how to bloom. Create your dreams. You create your own reality. You get to choose. You must realize that the process takes time. So like I was like this for a long time where I wanted things to happen faster. You can work with someone like myself, talk to someone else to help you learn more about what you're holding on to that you need to let go of. So you can accelerate your growth, but like things don't happen quickly. And it's kind of beautiful. I learned this the other day that like we need to appreciate time. Because if things happened that much faster, like we just thought something and it happened, life would be really tough. Because so many people think ill will thoughts, and if they got the effect from that ill will thought like that, they would be dead. So we have to appreciate that time is time, but time doesn't exist. Time is an illusion. So we need to remind ourselves that like things take time to grow. If you plant a new seed of growth, and that's what we do in Yes King, we not only learn to celebrate ourselves and celebrate other people. If you're interested, click the link in my bio. Check out Yes King. The first 3 days are free. But if you plant an acorn, it's going to take some time for that oak tree to grow. And it has to be in the right environment. It has to be nurtured, TLC, sunshine, the right harvest, everything. So a lot of times we want to change, but we have to not only choose ourselves, plant new seeds of growth, but then we also have to work through all the stuff we're holding on to. That's holding us back from growing prosperously. Today I sat down and stressed out from overwork, but I stood a step back and realized I've accomplished and learned about myself in the past few years. How crazy far. JJ Kitchen, that is a beautiful realization. Thank you for sharing that. Happy to see you while I watch American Idol. And finally proud of who I am, and I don't care who knows about me because I finally think I'm great. Ladies and gentlemen, humans of all kind, it's 9:10 here, so I don't want to give it too loud of a clap, but JJ Kitchen, thank you. I appreciate you for sharing that truth. I, believe it or not, I check in with myself every day at the end of the day. How was today? What were my wins? Any kind of win. What am I grateful for? A few things. I'm grateful for all of you. I'm grateful for that I committed to these lives and I showed up. I'm grateful I had an extraordinary day. Today was extraordinary for me. But I check in with myself. What fell through the cracks? Because if we don't check in, I even check in at the end of the weekend and every Sunday, which I still have to do, which means I have to go soon. I check in every single day and even at the end of the week. Because I want to plan for a better life. So if I look back the previous week, okay, what went well? What didn't go well? What fell through the cracks? How can I improve? And what's some goals I can focus on to make sure I'm in alignment with where I'm going, with what I wish to achieve more of. If we don't pay attention to how far we've come, we have to think about like, wow, I have grown so much. All of you have grown. You just continue to choose to focus on what's not working and maybe what's not feeling good. Because all of that is attached to an emotion that you experienced in the past and it's holding you back from more sunshine. That's it. Check in with yourself more often. How you feeling? How are things going? Okay, some things are maybe not going so well. Great. Beautiful. What can you learn from that? And then the things that you want to accomplish more, focus on a plan of action. Speak as if it's already in existence. So JJ Kitchen, proud of you. Keep up the good work. Keep chiming in. Keep on checking in. And thank you for sharing that. That's really empowering for a lot of people. Good morning, Singapore. Should a person's thought turn negative to a positive? How should a person's thought turn negative to positive? Just start focusing more on the things you're grateful for. Because remember, a thought is just a thought. And we think like 30,000 of them a day. And 90% of them are repetitive. And 80% of them are negative. So just realize that you're choosing to focus on negative thoughts. It's a choice. It is. Your brain will bring up, your subconscious mind will bring up the repetitiveness. So every time a negative thought comes in, you have a choice to believe it or realize it's not real. Realize it's not true. In that moment, take a few deep breaths and like, is this helping me or is this pulling me back? And your heart, if you open your heart will know. But a great technique to start changing the way, like reconditioning the way your body has been conditioned, is to practice gratitude. What are you grateful for? And if you don't know where to start, do you have running water? Do you have a bed to sleep in, a roof over your head? That may sound corny to some of you, but it's true. A lot of people in the world think they're poor when they actually are wealthy, rich compared to most of the world. Some of the happiest people in the world don't have running water. They've never seen a computer. So gratitude every single day. Practice it when you wake up and when you go to bed. Yes, Norman Orr, I did change my time. I'm gonna do my best to show up here most evenings at 8:00 Eastern time. I updated the link in my link tree and because I'm finding that the end of the night is a good place to start. It's a good place to end the day for a lot of people. Jim Floden, thanks for the kind words. Main thing I need to deal with is childhood trauma, but that I can't speak about because it then becomes real. Yes. Don't speak about it. Be aware that it existed. But also be aware that you can grow from it. Everyone's experienced trauma. And like you can go to a therapist and talk about it and relive it. That's not necessary. Therapists are great. They're great people to talk to. I'm not saying that therapists aren't great. I think they're great, especially if they're forward thinking. But it is not necessary to relive your traumas. It is not. I've overcome a lot of my traumas and I've never been to a therapist. There's something called NLP where we tap you back into maybe a trauma, something that was overwhelming, just to light up the neuron. Your brain's filled with tons of neurons. And neurons that fire together wire together. So the more we've revisited that trauma or that experience with the emotions, it continues to fire. But as long as we just bring up that fire, that neuron wire, we can then wire it to a different experience. It's really cool. It's something I do with my one-on-one clients. But know that you don't have to relive it in order to grow. You can like look up a NLP coach or NLP. It's pretty amazing. Neuro-linguistics programming. And I'm going to answer this last question for Jim, and then I must go. Oh, perfect, Jim. I look like an Anthony. One of my favorite movies is with Tommy Boy. With he's now passed away. Really funny guy, but he goes to this diner, and he's like, "What's your name?" She's like, "Helen." He's like, "You look like a Helen." JJ Kitchen, absolutely. Roddy Boy, beautiful, nice to have you back. J.R. Anthony, thanks for the kind words. How any advice on how to not overthink? Let me just review my notes, because actually I had some notes with my coach tonight. And I remember taking some notes on overthinking. We have to remember that overthinking is basically a pattern. It's something that we've just entertained so much. And the more we overthink, that leads to fear, and that leads to procrastination. So remember, your thoughts aren't you. Like, you're supposed to have thoughts to have an experience on this planet. But like I said before, we have like 30,000 thoughts a day. And 90% of them are repetitive, like meaning the ones that you were repeating today and thinking about, you thought about yesterday and the day before and the day before and the day before. And 80% of those statistically are negative. So we have to remember, when we have a thought come up, it's linked to a sensation. When you have a thought come up and you start to overthink, feel where in your body do you feel it? Does your heart hurt? Does your stomach hurt? Does your lower back? You start to feel stress. Because the more we can actually realize that we aren't our thoughts, and that the sensation is attached to an emotion from the past. If I'm getting this right, I may have to think about this some more. What I can tell you now is learn to interrupt those thoughts. I have seen Heartstopper, and it's one of my favorite things in the world. I cry every time. I'm cut, but we're going to keep it clean for the kiddos. So all the sexual questions end there. I am Danny V. It's been a while, my friend. Yeah, Heartstopper is awesome. I highly recommend it for anyone. It's like teenage boys falling in love. Yes. So if you overthink, realize you are not your thoughts. And you have it's just a pattern that continues to play in loop because you've entertained it so many times. So in that moment, take some deep breaths. You could even say stop out loud. You're going to interrupt the pattern. You can take 3 deep breaths. You can do this with your anxiety too. Take 3 deep breaths and don't just be like just stop. Say stop out loud so you interrupt the pattern. Just take a seat and just really feel your belly breathe, in with air, in your nose, out your mouth, in your nose. Let all the air out. Stop. And just start looking from side to side. And this has something to do with your parasympathetic nervous system. It helps slow your heart rate, calm your nerves, and helps you become present. The whole idea is for you to practice becoming present. You could also try something, and I'm not sure if this works. This is helpful with overthinking, especially when it's out of control. Remember, the idea is for you to get more in control of who you are. Like have more power over your thoughts than the thoughts having power over you and making you feel powerless. Something called a PQ rep. It's all about practicing becoming present, because presence is your power. It's where your power lies. I swear, I'm living proof that the more present you practice, if you want to change your life, just say every day that I am a master at being present. There's a reason why when you get a gift, get a present, say for Christmas, it's a gift, because the present moment is truly a gift. The better you can get at becoming present, the better your life gets. So if you want to work on and focus on anything that's challenging in life, practice being present. You can do that about being mindful in nature, going for walks, leaving your phone at home. Whatever you're doing, just focus on it. Anytime your attention starts to gravitate somewhere else, like a puppy when you're training a puppy, bring it right back to what you're focusing on. And keep on strengthening that part of you. You could also rub your two fingers together. It's called a PQ rep, Positive Intelligence. There's a website you can go to. I took this course. It's fascinating. And I'm going to leave you with this because I have to go. I tried to leave here 20 minutes ago. The more you focus on rubbing your fingers together, this is just one of the reps that you can do. 10 to 15 seconds. That's it. Not for a minute, not for 10 minutes. Just bring all of your attention to rubbing your two fingers together and focus on the temperature, the ridges, the sensation, just for 10 to 15 minutes, 10 to 15 seconds, excuse me. And the more you focus and you strengthen this part of you, you light up what's the right side of the brain. The right side of the brain is the wisdom, the love, the compassion. Mind you, it's the newer, most development in our brain. We're the only creatures on this planet to have it. The left side of the brain is your ego, the logical side. The rational side. This is what takes you down. This is your survival side. I must correct myself. When I said that the humans are the only thing to have the right side of the brain, I might be mistaken by that, so I take that back. Because then I'm thinking about animals, and they're so loving and unconditional, so why wouldn't they have it? But that might be true. I'm not sure. So I just take that information away. I do know this is for true. The right side of your brain is wisdom, love. We want to light up that side more. The left side is your survival brain. This side of your brain's been in development for 2 million years, and it wasn't designed to keep you happy. And most people have been conditioned to live in fear and light up the left side of the brain. This is the fight or flight. This is survival. It wasn't designed to keep you happy. That's why we need to light up this side more. That's why practicing presence changes everything. At the moment, for most people's lives, it's out of balance. This is utilized more than this, and this is helping people live in fear. So the more we can light up this side rather than this side, and it's a practice, it takes time. You have to be diligent, you have to be dedicated, you have to be consistent. But you can do it. Because the last time I checked, you're a human being. I don't care what sex you are. I don't care who you love. I don't care if you believe in God or not. I don't care what your skin color is. You are loved, loving, and lovable. You're a miracle simply by being on this planet. And if no one told you today, I love you. Genuinely, from one human heart to another. The heart inside of you has been beating. It's beating just for you. It's been beating a lot, and it's kind of hungry for your attention. So this isn't any words just to throw some poof in your mind. Or, oh, Anthony loves me. No. Genuinely, from one human heart to another, you deserve to be loved. But you're not going to get it from an external result, external outside source. You have to learn to love yourself. Light up the right side of your brain. Practice being present. Give yourself some more credit. You're doing your best, and it's going to take you time. But things aren't going to change if you don't choose you. You got to choose yourself. You got to learn to appreciate yourself. You got to learn to celebrate yourself every freaking step that you take forward, because forward is forward. You're put onto this planet to have an experience. That's it. To experience emotions, feelings, because it's kind of makes what life very interesting. But you got to choose you more. You got to say nicer things to yourself. You got to go quiet more often. Spend more time in nature. Stop watching the news. It's making you go crazy. Smile more. Can change someone's life. Put your hand over your heart. Feel its beat. You know, something I do with my coach often, every single week, is visualize me breathing in and out of my heart. And the first time I heard that, I was like, what? And my life has forever changed since working with him. For 3 years. You want to change your life? You got to choose you. The world is hungry for your attention. Your heart is hungry for your attention, and the world is craving you to focus more on yourself, because the more you focus on yourself, then you can have more fun on this planet. And when you have more fun on this planet, you attract more people to have fun with, and then you spread more love and peace and joy. You don't fight in the world. War is going to attract more war. Fighting is going to attract more fighting. March for peace. March for love. But you'll never find love outside of you if it's not inside of you first. It's an inside job. You have to be the love. You already are. You just forgot. That's what you're made of. We're literally made by the most intelligent stuff on this planet. We have things inside of our bodies that nothing else in this world has. So remind yourself of that every day. Every morning you wake up, look at yourself in the mirror. Today's going to be a great day. Just say it. What's the worst that could happen? It might not be. What if it is? Our minds become so programmed, and then we feel it in our body. There's that mind-heart connect. You feel it in your body. It's a sensation. It connects to your mind. Interrupt it. Realize that you're not your thoughts. You're not. You're not your beliefs. You believe you are because you've been practicing believing them so much, but it's probably just stems from something that happened to you when you're 5. And you just got to realize that I don't want to believe that anymore. Feeling unworthy is not a really great feeling. So wake up every day being like, I'm thrilled to feel worthy. I love feeling worthy. Say it. The more you say it, the more you believe it, the more you become it. Love you all. Have a beautiful night. Look forward to seeing you all again soon. Till we meet again. Later. It's not turning off.